To begin, I'd like to introduce the York International team. First, we have Eugene Lee, who is our International Orientation and Conversion Coordinator. Then we have Nikita Cruz, is our International Student Experience Coordinator. And as mentioned before, I'm Rachel. By the end of this webinar, we expect the students to have more knowledge on academic expectations relating to teaching, learning, and the language of instruction here at York University. We also hope that you learn the significance of upholding academic integrity and its role in your academic journey at York University. In addition, we hope that you learn the key resources and support services that are here to enhance your graduate success. And finally, we hope that you understand the orientation process and its benefits for your transition into graduate studies. In terms of the agenda for today, we'll have understanding academic expectations and responsibility. We'll also go through studying with academic integrity here at York University. Then we'll go over some international student orientation for graduate students that are coming up in August. And finally, we answer any questions that you may have and give your answers to them. And we'll also touch on upcoming webinars and events that we have for you. And now I'm going to pass it on to Nikita to take us through today's presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rachel. Hello, everyone. And before we get started, I just wanted to say congratulations on your acceptance to York University. I think this is a huge achievement, and I may be biased in saying that you've picked an amazing place for research, teaching, and learning. So in today's webinar, we're going to dive into the Canadian academic expectations, resources and services that are available to you, and then some tangible next steps in terms of ensuring that you're feeling confident as you begin your first term in September. So, as you begin your university journey, it is important to remember that your experience extends far beyond the classroom. University really is a very unique opportunity to learn from people with different cultures, backgrounds, perspectives, all of which is here to help you grow both personally as well as professionally. And through this, it is also a chance for you to build meaningful connections with our faculty, alumni, your peers, and professional networks that can really support with your future goals. And while you will be quite focused on your academics while you're here at York, we do recommend and encourage you to take some time to find your community, get involved outside of your classes, and really make the most out of living here in Toronto. So my first tip of today's webinar is to really engage in these different opportunities. And the more you do that, the more rewarding your university experience is going to be. So there are many different factors that can influence your success here at York University. And being prepared can really make that transition for you much more smoother. That's why I think it's really important that you understand the processes and support services that are available to you, whether that's important deadlines and course enrollment, to English language resources and writing supports as well. So in today's webinar, we're going to cover academic integrity, wellness resources that are available through the Faculty of Graduate Studies, all of which really play a very important role in your academic journey. And then we'll be exploring each of these points in detail throughout today's session so that you feel informed, prepared, and then confident as you begin your studies. So starting grad school can come with a lot of information and important tasks to complete, which is why we do really recommend the You Start Grad as your go-to transition resource. This guide really walks you through each step that you need to complete. So whether that's confirming your academic program, completing administrative requirements, as well as connecting you with your grad program office and also understanding important academic deadlines and taking the time to really go through all of these steps as early as possible can really ensure that you have a smooth and successful start to your graduate journey. And as part of your transition to York, there are a few key administrative tasks that you'll need to complete before your studies begin. These steps really are essential so that you have access to important university services and resources from day one. First up, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you have set up your Passport York account, which serves as a gateway portal to many of York's online systems and services. The next step is to activate and regularly check your York University email, which is technically Office 365. And it's through there that you will receive important university and program communications as well. And then finally, when you do get a chance, it's important that you request for your U card as well, which will be your official student identification card, and provides you access to campus services, facilities, library resources, potentially door access as well, and much more. So again, very important that you complete these tasks as early as possible so that you're well informed, you're connected with everyone that you need to be connected with, and you're not rushing to get all these things done in the first couple of weeks of university just because you're going to get busy with other priorities that come in place. So, another important step as you prepare to begin your studies here is to connect with your graduate program office. I mentioned this earlier, but this really is your first point of contact for all program specific questions and support as well. So, your graduate program office can help you guide you through some of the important topics like course selection, enrollment, program orientation activities, academic advising, and academic accommodations if you do need that as well. And because these requirements and processes can vary depending on which program of study you've chosen, they really are the best source of information to ensure that you're receiving accurate and up to date guidance. They're supporting students just like you in your program of study. So, really, they should be your first point of contact. So, we do ask that if you haven't done so already, or if they have not reached out to you and you haven't seen their emails, reach out early, introduce yourself, and then just use your program office as a resource throughout your graduate journey. And the next thing I wanted to share is, like I said, it's important to know your important deadlines as a grad student. And it is also the best way to set yourself up for success. So, throughout the year, there are several key dates that can affect your registration, your academic progress, and your financial obligations as well. So, usually, we would recommend that our graduate students are checking the academic important dates calendar to stay informed in terms of your registration and your enrollment deadlines, financial deadlines, course start dates, if you're doing a thesis or a dissertation, ensuring that you're aware of all those deadlines, as well as petition deadlines as well. It is important to note here that we have a summer, we have a fall, we have a winter term. And so the dates vary depending on which term you're in. They're not always the same. And so it's important that you are checking as opposed to assuming that, all of the dates sort of remain the same. And missing important deadlines can have academic and financial implications. And as I mentioned earlier, you're taking ownership, you have to take ownership over your academic journey as a grad student. There's a lot of independence, and with that independence means that you have to be quite responsible. So we do encourage that you bookmark this important dates webpage so that you stay informed. The next thing I wanted to share is some additional resources. So, York offers a variety of resources, specifically the Faculty of Graduate Studies, to really help you navigate more successfully into your academics. So, one of these is called the Grad Forward Online series, which is really a collection of different short workshops led by experienced faculty as well as staff that cover lots of different topics. So things like scholarship and funding, academic integrity, professional skill development, graduate supervision, and then also wellness supports as well. And you'll also be able to learn about the Faculty of Graduate Studies' processes and student services that are available to support you throughout. So again, highly recommend that you attend if you can, and it usually happens in at the start of the fall as well. The next thing I want to share is for many graduate students, studying in English can be both exciting, but then also challenging at times. And so, whether English is your first language or if it is an additional language, it is important to have strong communication skills to support with your academic success. And before we talk about the different kinds of supports that are available, it is important to recognize that many of our international students share very similar experiences when communicating in English. And these challenges are very common and are a normal part of studying and living in a new academic and cultural environment. So, lots of students that we come across have told us that they sometimes have difficulty finding the right words, especially when discussing complex and technical topics. Others have mentioned that they're a little hesitant about spontaneous conversations, and sometimes they're a little unsure about whether they should contribute to a discussion or not. And also, it stems from, just being nervous about making mistakes. And finally, some also find that having limited vocabulary as well as challenges with grammar really affect their confidence when communicating. And so I want to share that while these challenges are very common, it is important to acknowledge that all of this sort of contributes to that low confidence in communicating, which could affect your academic and personal experience. And that usually means that students may be hesitant to participate in class discussions. They might struggle to express their ideas clearly or find it difficult to engage with the course materials. And so the good news is that confidence really develops with practice and support. And so by really engaging with the English language resources that are available at York, you can really strengthen your communication skills, become more comfortable in participating in different sorts of discussions, and just feel a little more connected to the community here at York as well as beyond. So the first effective way to build confidence in English is through regular conversation and having meaningful connections with others. So I'd like to highlight the English Conversation Partners Program, which again is a great opportunity for you to practice your English in a supportive and informal environment. And so through this program, you'll be paired with a conversation partner and have opportunities to meet regularly, participate in different kinds of events. You may also, with this assigned partner, get to explore Toronto and your neighboring community, connect with other students from a wide range of different cultures and academic backgrounds as well. The focus here in this program is not about being perfect, and on your best behavior. It's really about practicing, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and really building that confidence. And many students tell us that practicing English in a relaxed setting like this program helps them feel more comfortable participating in class discussions, making new friends, and just navigating daily life in Canada. So if again, you're looking for a way to meet other people and also do things in the community, I do highly encourage you to apply. It's not a very big commitment in terms of participating in this program. It is a 7-week program, but you're really only expected to give an hour each week for connecting with your assigned conversation partner. We've been running this program for 3 years now, and we've had tons of students come and go. A lot of students have also come as returning students as well. So again, highly encourage you if you're looking for something to do. The next thing that I wanted to share is just around the English as a Second Language Open Learning Center, which again is a university service at York. And this will also be here for you to support with English language development. They provide specialized support for those that have English as an additional or second language who really want to strengthen their academic English skills as well as build confidence in their communication. So they provide support when it comes to reading, writing, speaking, as well as writing any essays for or assignments that you may have. And their faculty members that also support, but then we also have some PhD students in linguistics. So there's students just like yourselves that are here to support you as well. So again, it's a free resource. Highly encourage that you utilize the things that are available to you. Now that we've discussed some of the language supports that are available to you, I do want to shift our focus to academic writing, especially when it comes to writing at the graduate level. Many students are sometimes surprised to learn as they make their way through their course or degree that graduate writing is very different in terms of expectations compared to undergraduate writing. So in the next slide or so, I will be exploring some of these differences as well as highlighting some resources that can really help strengthen your academic writing skills and help you succeed in your graduate studies here at York. So the first thing that I wanted to share is, while undergraduate assignments often focus on demonstrating your understanding of concepts and applying what you learned, graduate writing tasks tend to be a little different and just taking it one step further. So at the graduate level, you might be expected to, critically engage with the research, develop original ideas supported by research, and also contribute to scholarly conversations within your field. And so rather than simply just summarizing existing knowledge, you'll be challenged to really analyze, question, build on past materials. And so understanding the shift in expectations really is an important part of your academic success. And so as you progress through your program, what will happen is that you will be developing skills that are needed to communicate complex ideas, construct strong arguments, as well as contribute meaningfully to your academic discipline. And so, as we've discussed in this last slide, strong writing skills are really essential for success in the graduate school. And so, you don't have to develop all of these skills on your own, is what we're trying to say. So, one of the most valuable resources, apart from English as a Second Language Open Learning Center, is the Writing Center. Which really supports students in being more effective and confident academic writers. So they offer tons of different services, including one-on-one appointments. They have tons of resources and guides that are available on their website, as well as workshops that are designed to support you through different stages of your writing process as well. So whether you're working on a course paper, whether you're working on a research proposal, whether you're doing a literature review, whether you're working on any professional documents, there are experienced faculty as well as master's and PhD students that are very, very skilled, that are here to support you in helping you strengthen your writing skills. So again, highly recommend that you make a visit to the Writing Center, either online or in person, to get that support that you need. And so we've talked about writing, we've talked about English language supports. So now I wanted to share something that is quite important for our graduate students, but just generally all students to be aware of, and that is academic integrity. So, academic integrity here at York, as well as other institutions, as you might be aware, is more than just simply following certain rules. It's really about demonstrating honesty, responsibility, and having respect for all aspects of your academic work. And so at York, we are really proud of our diverse community. And we also recognize that our students may come from different educational systems that might have different expectations around academic integrity. So that is again completely normal at an institution that is so large as York. And so, regardless of your background, all students are expected to understand and uphold York University standards for academic integrity. And doing so really helps create a fair and respectful learning environment where not just your work, but everyone's work is valued here. And so, working with integrity also really benefits you personally. When you complete your work honestly, you're really developing the knowledge, the skills, the expertise that will really support your success throughout the program as well as beyond the program, so in your future careers. So, really earning your degree with integrity reflects on your hard work and your achievements, while also helping maintain the value and reputation of a York University degree. And this burden, not I wouldn't say burden, but this responsibility is not just on you, it is a shared responsibility, which really strengthens the academic community that you are a part of. And so it is important for all of us to do our job in terms of upholding York's academic integrity policies to ensure that we're still maintaining that culture of excellence in teaching, in learning, and in research as well. So we know that grad school or just post-secondary education in general is very demanding. And there may be times where students face pressures that make it quite challenging to maintain academic integrity. You might be hit with some tight deadlines, balancing academic responsibilities with work and personal commitments. You may have family obligations, and as well as adapting to a new academic culture or concerns, maybe about grades and performance. They all create a lot of added stress. And for some students, additional challenges such as language barriers or uncertainty around academic expectations can make it a little more difficult to navigate assignments and communicate these ideas confidently. And these experiences are all common, especially during your transition through your graduate studies. But what's important here is recognizing that these challenges come, but recognizing them early and responding to them in a responsible way. And it's important that you're being aware of these situations that may put some pressure on you, and because you're aware, you're more likely to access the supports that you really need, ask the right questions to the right people, manage your time effectively, as well as make informed decisions. And we want you to know that through all of this, you're not really alone. We have tons of different resources that are designed to really support you throughout these challenges, while also ensuring that you're able to uphold the values of honesty, fairness, and responsibility throughout your degree. So the next thing I wanted to share is just around the actual expectations. So really to support this culture of honesty and fairness, we do have a academic conduct policy that outlines the responsibilities of all members of the university committee. So what that means is it's not just a student's responsibility, it's also the responsibility of our faculty, our instructors, and staff all play a huge role in upholding these standards, including yourself. So it's important to understand what constitutes a breach of academic integrity. And so academic misconduct can include any actions that give someone an unfair advantage, whether that's intentional or even unintentional. So not knowing that you're, committing this is also something that could be considered a misconduct. So this could include plagiarism, cheating, misrepresentation, fraudulent conduct, and certain forms of research misconduct as well. And all of these different kinds of violations can lead to serious consequences, which is why, in order to avoid that, it is important that you are familiarizing yourself with the expectations and responsibilities that are outlined in this policy. And if you're ever hesitant, unsure, it is important that you are connecting with your instructor, your supervisor, and relevant support offices. We're all here to guide you and support you. We just want you to ask for the help when you need it. So it is important that you're trying to take the time to read through these documents so that you avoid any unintentional mistakes and ensuring that the work that you do reflects the highest standards of integrity. Now that we've reviewed sort of the York's expectations, the academic policy, and academic integrity, I wanted to focus a little bit on some practical strategies that you can use to avoid academic misconduct and set yourself up for success. The first one is taking the time to know the rules and expectations that apply to your courses, your assignments, your research activities. So when you're using sources, it's important that you're also using proper citation and acknowledging the work of others. This again is a key strategy in ensuring that you are upholding academic integrity. It is important that you are also managing your time effectively. Many academic integrity issues actually stem from students feeling overwhelmed about deadlines and leaving work to the last minute. And so helping plan ahead will really reduce some, if not all, of your stress and pressure. And as emerging technologies like AI comes into practice, um, it's important that you understand what your instructor's expectations are when it comes to use and how to use it responsibly. So it is important that you are connecting with your supervisor or with your course instructor around what is something that you're able to use it for versus not, because that way you're taking out the guesswork and you're able to still use it, but use it safely. And finally, uh, ask for help as well as make use of all of the different resources that are available to you. We'll be going over some resources in the next few slides, all of which are here again to guide and support you and create that culture of honesty. So the next thing that I wanted to share are just some modules that you will have access to. Not just yet, but you will have access to this soon. But this really helps you understand what York's academic integrity policies are, but in a more engaging way as well, because I think it sets a foundational skill in terms of upholding academic integrity. Because as we know, people come from different educational backgrounds, so everyone sort of has the same level playing field in that regards. So the first one is the Faculty of Graduate Academic Integrity module, which is required for all new graduate students and is mandated by university policy. And this module contains different learning units and a quiz component as well. And all students are technically automatically enrolled in this. But because this is a required component, there are deadlines for completion, and those who do not complete it may receive alerts on their student account. So it is important that you do complete this, but you cannot register on your own, and you will receive an email through the Faculty of Graduate Studies regarding this. So not to fret right now, like I think this is something that will come to you sooner rather than later, but it is something that you have to just keep an eye out on. And then the second option is actually an open access integrity resource, which is very similar to the academic integrity module, but it doesn't have a quiz component. And so you can always check it whenever you'd like. And it also includes a disclaimer as well, saying that, hey, like if you are completing this, this is not part of your mandatory requirement. You still have to complete the other module, but this is available to you whenever you do need to refer back and educate yourself further. Now, the next thing I wanted to share again is just some supporting academic integrity resources that are available to you. Some of them being student related resources. There are some resources on how to avoid common breaches, accessing academic integrity modules, navigating responsible use of AI in academic work. And there is a specific section for AI at York, which offers guidance specifically for graduate students on the use of AI in academic and research settings. So, again, highly encourage you to read up on it because it's constantly evolving and changing. And so, it's important that we are keeping up with the technology as well as the policies surrounding it as well. And another fantastic resource, I'm not going to go in depth because I know there's a lot here, but three things that you have to sort of just look at on this slide is just the York University's academic integrity website. It's sort of broken down into different sections. I've mentioned a couple of them just around avoiding a breach and the modules and the policy as well. But there's also some wellness consultation and counseling services that are available for graduate students as well. So again, if you have concerns around mental health, around balancing time and life and obligations as a grad student, there are certain services and supports available to you, which will support with that and therefore support with your academics as well. And then finally, we also have York University's Graduate Student Association, also known as UXA, and they represent and advocate for graduate students and also provide counseling as well. So, yes, we have tons of different supports and services available. You're not expected to know all of these from the get go, but it's important to know that there are different sorts of uh, people around the University community that are here to support you. And with that, I do want to say, we've spent a lot of time talking about how to navigate your academic journey and the academic side of graduate studies. But success at York also depends on taking care of yourself and your well being. It can be very exciting and rewarding to complete your education here at York, but it also comes with different sorts of challenges, with responsibilities, with different sorts of pressures. And so it is important that you're maintaining your well being so that you're able to achieve everything that you've set out to do. And so in this next slide, I'm going to share, we'll sort of talk a little bit about some of the resources and services that are available to you to support with your journey. So some of the things that the link that we'll be sharing with you covers is wellness consultations and counseling services. If you need urgent help, there's resources on that. There is a certificate program as well that you can complete just around how do you actually gain the skills or hone in and practice the skills to really take care of yourself. If you have certain ideas around really taking care of yourself, but then also your peers, there is a fund that is available that you can apply to. And you can basically share a particular idea that you want to bring forth, and you will get money for it, which you can then use to run the programming that you'd like. So I know a lot of students sometimes are very passionate about running their own thing. This is one of them, but it's designed to support graduate wellness. There's also a graduate student wellness support group. So again, we talk a lot about you not being alone in this, and this group is here to support you through that as well. So there'll be other peers just like yourself, sort of going through the university journey and its challenges with it as well. And then finally, there's also a resource and workshop hub as well. So feel free to peruse, check what works best for you, and definitely take advantage of these resources that are available. And before we wrap up for today's webinar, I did want to just share some specific orientation events that are available to graduate students. So orientation here is just not just about being a single kind of event. It really is that starting point to meet your fellow graduate students, discover different kinds of campus services and resources that are available, and also just start to build those connections as well. So this next two slides I'm going to share will just talk a little bit about those two orientation events. So if you are around, we do highly encourage you to attend because you'll meet all of us as well. But it's also really a great opportunity to explore campus together as well. So the first one that we'd like to highlight is the International and Exchange Student Orientation that is hosted by the York International Department. And this is a great way to meet other international students, connect with other students, learn about life at York, become familiar with different resources. So throughout the day, there'll be so many different opportunities to build that sense of community, ask the different kinds of questions you may have. And this one takes place on Monday, August 31st from 9 to 4 p.m. And the location is also provided. Again, don't have to remember all of this. There's a QR code as well as a link provided in the chat. So we do encourage you to register as soon as possible. And the last one that I wanted to share is just again an alternative date. So for any reason you're unable to make it to the August 31st one, although we do encourage you to attend the first one, but this is also there for you if you arrive to Canada slightly late. So we're just offering an alternative orientation session similar to the August 31st one. And that is it in terms of all of the resources, services, supports that we'd like to share with you. So thank you so much for attending and welcome to York. And I'll pass it off to Rachel.
Thank you, Nikita, for the very informative presentation. We hope that students had the opportunity to learn about York University and how York is here to support you in preparing for the Canadian classroom as a graduate student. And now we'll open the floor for any questions that you may have. Please note that the webinar recording will be available in the pre-arrival website. And now you can use the Q&A feature to submit your questions, and then we address them accordingly. As we give everyone a bit of time to type in their questions, I would like to go over a few common questions that we received from students in previous webinars. And these questions might address some concerns that Nikita, I'm going to start us off with one of the most common questions, which is, what are the most important dates? What are the most important dates and deadlines that I should be aware of as a new graduate student?
That is a great question, Rachel. So happy to respond to that. So it is important, as I had mentioned earlier in this webinar, that you are bookmarking the Faculty of Graduate Studies' important deadlines and dates page for any information around registration and enrollment, tuition and fee deadlines, course start dates, thesis and dissertation milestones, and petition deadlines. So staying informed on these things will really just help you avoid academic and financial issues. So I would say definitely refer to that because again, it depends on when you're starting and your program of studies. So it might differ from student to student, but it is important that you are referring to that page.
Thank you. Another question that we get is, how can I improve my English language and academic writing skills at York?
Fantastic. Thank you for that question. So York, as I mentioned, provides tons of different supports and events and programs that are designed to support you with your English language confidence as well as your academic writing. Some of them being the English as a Second Language Open Learning Center, the Writing Center, and the English Conversation Partners Program. These resources are here for you to strengthen your writing, reading, speaking, comprehension when it comes to your academic journey here at York. But also your peers within your program office, your supervisor are all here to support you also with your writing and also just, getting that confidence in terms of your English skills as well. So tapping into all of these different supports and services will really help maximize that potential for improvement.
Perfect. Thank you for highlighting all the resources. And speaking on more resources, what academic support resources are available for graduate students?
So, as I mentioned in the to the previous question that we highlighted, important to reach out to the graduate program office because they have specific program related supports that may be available to you. There's also the U Start Grad that I had mentioned earlier that really helps you with that orientation and transition support. The Writing Center, ESL Open Learning Center, the Grad Forward online series as well that I had mentioned earlier that starts in the beginning of the fall. Those are all designed to support with your academics, as well as just guidance around program requirements and professional growth as well.
Perfect. Another question we have switching to health is what wellness and counseling services can graduate students access?
So there are actually tons of different wellness resources, including the wellness consultation and counseling services, any urgent mental health supports, as well as the graduate support group as well. So all of these different sort of varied services, depending on what you're most comfortable with, can help you manage your stress, manage well-being, as well as navigate some of the challenges you might experience as a grad student.
And finally, what are the key academic integrity expectations for graduate students at York?
That's a great question. So, for graduate students, they're really expected to uphold the principles of honesty, of fairness, of maintaining trust, respect, encourage in all academic work that you might find yourself in. So, making sure that you're properly citing your sources, following the assignment and research guidelines, using AI tools responsibly, as well as avoiding misconduct such as plagiarism, cheating, or misrepresentation. So, one piece of feedback I'll give you, or one piece of advice, sorry, I'll give you is ask questions, ask for clarification if you aren't aware, and use the academic integrity resources that are available at York to stay informed.
All right, perfect. Thank you for answering those questions. And now we'll take a look at a few of our upcoming webinars and events. In this portion of the presentation, you can continue to use the Q&A feature if you have any more questions. And just a reminder that all the links for registration will be placed in the chat for you. And starting off with our arriving and a Canadian border presentation, as part of our webinar for the pre-arrival series, we'll talk about what happens when you arrive at the Canadian border. If you're curious about what to expect, as well as knowing all the documents that you will need, then I recommend that you attend this session. Being at the border brings you one step closer to York University, where we're all excited to welcome you to. And also, we have our look ahead at your first year at York webinar. Join us to learn about all this about student life at York University. We'll dive into Canadian culture, tips for balancing academics and life as a student, understanding important dates in York's academic calendar, and resources to support your health and wellness. So get ready to make the most of the experience in Canada. And now we're going to switch your attention into a service that will be helpful in your pre-arrival journey, known as Border Pass. Border Pass is an immigration management platform that's offered in partnership with York University that guides students through every required document and uses AI to flag potential issues before any study permit applications are submitted. This is mainly for study permit applications in general, and each study permit application receives a full review from a Canadian immigration lawyer who helps you submit this to IRCC at no extra cost, beyond the standard government fees for single applicants. It also supports first-time application as well as refusals, so if your study permit application was refused. And this is a service that's also available for any student who has accepted their offer to York University, and the link to access this service has been put in the chat for you. And here we have our event calendar where you can not only find our upcoming events, but you can also find our next drop-in sessions and appointments with our immigration advisors, and you can register for them directly from the calendar. And I will highly suggest that you folks bookmark this to your browser for easy reference. And now, if you do not want to miss out on all the fun and engaging content, follow us on social media to stay updated with everything that York International has to offer. And as we wrap up, please take a moment to share any links that were shared, to save any links that were shared throughout this presentation, and note any resources that you want to explore later. But before we enter this webinar, I'll take a quick look at the chat to see if there are any last minute questions. Since there are no more questions, thank you again for joining us today. We hope this session helped you feel more prepared for the Canadian classroom and more confident about starting your academic journey at York. So stay connected, stay informed, and we look forward to seeing you at future York International sessions. We're so excited for you to begin your journey. Have a good day, everyone.